Okay. Glad to be here in Baltimore. And Miss Sister Carlene Morris, that last name is Morgan, excuse me. I was saying that last name Morgan. Well, the reason why I got Morris because it's Morgan, Morris, Morose, Morals, Elmore, all of that stuff is Moorish. So Morgan is an actual Moorish name. You can trace a lot of that in the Grail mythology. The Grail mythology, King Arthur and Excalibur and all that stuff was brought to the Europeans by the Moors. It was brought up through France, on into France and on up into Ireland. Then when the British took over Ireland, they took the Camelot mysteries, King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot, and they usurped it as a form of their history. In the book Rundle Clark's book, Egyptian Symbolism of Myth and Myth, he also talks about how that King Arthur stuff comes straight out of Kemet. You see, came straight out of Kemet and came up by the Moors. He talks about that in the Rundle and Clark's book. Egyptian Myths and Symbols is the name of it. I think it's in Dr. Charles Finch uses it a lot. But anyway, they took this and tried to usurp this into their particular culture. The word Arthur also comes from the word Other, which means dog star. That's in Robert Temple's book, Serious Mystery, but Arthur is nothing but a form of Osiris. You see, Lancelot, as well as Parzival, who is the winner of the Grail that receives the Grail, is nothing but Horus. Guinevere is a form of Aset. These are the same stories retold, but that was brought up by the Moors. And so you have a guy called Morgan in the mythology, the Grail mythology, and that's all brought up by the Moors. So get into that, get the movie Excalibur, which would be your introductory piece into the Arthurian mythology. And, you know, you get that movie Excalibur and Arthurian mythology, and that'll be your introductory piece. We'll go through a whole lot of information like that, but that movie Excalibur, all kind of great metaphysical mysteries on why. Anybody saw the movie Excalibur and know the story why Guinevere leaves King Arthur, she cheats on King Arthur, and that also has a metaphysical thing called the feminine mysteries of, in so many words, the marriage that we are under the system now is a patriarchal system where the woman is seen as property. So they, in the feminine mystery, she ends up cheating on him to break free from that patriarchal domination. So just interesting. I have a great history here. Like I said, I had an uncle used to be a big-time preacher here in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and he died in 77. I had this is a great uncle. You know, then I had my mother, brother, and sister, my aunt and uncle, also went to Morgan State here in the 50s and the 60s. So I have a connection here with Baltimore. The last time I was here was in 97, and then before that 96. And then you know, even in the D.C. area, the last time I was there was the Melanin Conference in 1994. Basically, to piggyback off of the introduction, for the people that don't know me, well, first of all, I'm going to spit this to the gods in a few minutes. The people that don't know me, basically, what happened was, it's just like any other thing. We had a resurgence of knowledge, and everybody knows, which is the Afrocentric movement with Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, the cadre of scholars, you know, Francis Cress Wilson, Asa Hilliard, the list goes on and on. Well, I was a part of that down in Atlanta at the particular time. I was just coming off of the whole student thing, you know, being a professional student for about 8 years, you know what I'm saying, and all, you know. And it was spiritual because partially after going to college, I went to Benedict College in South Carolina, and I went to Clark College, later on Clark Atlanta University, and then, you know, the latter part of going to college was for room and board, you know, 3 hots and a cot, and basically, you know, so I just parlayed that other 4 years into just having a place to stay. was a good way to migrate. If you young people, it's a good way to migrate to other countries, other cities, you know. I was like, you know, I don't want to get to Atlanta, but I don't have no money, don't have no place to stay or whatever and stuff. So I got back in school, you see, and that was one of the keys and stuff like that. So, but so I was a part of that whole student movement and young scholar movement, which was supposed to be the bylaws of the whole ASCAC thing, was that you're supposed to get the scholars to bring this particular history, but then you bring this particular history, then the younger people at that particular time were supposed to take it to another level. So I was nearing 30 at the time when I was in all of this particular Afrocentric information and all, and then all of a sudden, after receiving the history, I'd heard them talk about the mysteries, and becoming disenfranchised with knowing if I had my history and still looking at black people out here acting like fools or going more and more into the plight, you know, into the plight and all. In so many words, I was still searching, and I had a career pretty much plotted out for me because I was an artist by training, commercial art and fine arts, but I was also a shooter. I had at that particular one of the only world, so therefore I was it was kind of easy to be successful in it because when you're the only black doing something, you know what I'm saying, you can go right up the ladder. So I went from Clark, Atlanta to the penthouse in the avenues of America in New York City under this Jew, and like the Jew said, look, we're gonna pimp you for what you are worth, for the simple fact you are the new super Negro. Based on you, so we're gonna do the ebony, we're gonna do the essence, we're gonna do all of this. We got a warehouse in Florida, we're gonna give a boutique at Lenox Square Mall. They had it set out. They had $100,000 or $500,000 for me to start my line in the fall of '98. Excuse me, the fall of 89, fall 89, September 89. And he said, hold on 1 minute. He said, take about a month or two, take about 2 or 3 months to get some black investors. He said, because my family members up there, they're going to own you. You know, they're going to own you. So go back to Atlanta, take a couple of, you know, take a couple of months to get some black investors. I went back, and during the time I was immersed in all of this Afrocentric knowledge, and because that was in September of '89, by November 28th, which was my birthday, I turned 28 in '89, November 28th, and bam, I just died. All I could do was do this. And about a year later, I'm sitting around just studying, going through all of this this new phenomenon of information, and then looked up, and some of the people was like, hey man, it's been a year. What happened to the shoe thing? I said, I don't know. I just died to it. So I walked away from my whole career. And they said, what you gonna do? I said, I have no idea. And so I turned 30, and in 93 I turned 30. Excuse me, not 93, 92, the end of 92, because I'm 40, I'll be 42 in November. So in the end of 92, I turned 30, and basically I started doing this particular lecture so it's going on 12 years. And my aspect was to bring the mysteries back in the particular aspect. I understood that these Europeans had what they call a New Age metaphysical movement, but when you go in there, you would see all of it was white. They never really talked about the race, and that was consciously done. So my goal was the last 12 years was to re-blacken it. And about 2 or 3 years into it, about 2 years into it, the spiritual aspect started coming as far as, although I was doing the research into the metaphysical thing, I was also being initiated on a high level spiritually. Like take for instance today, I can tell when you got a whole lot of energy, or a whole lot of another realm, or a whole lot of energy because of initiation, because of certain things you've gone to a certain level, certain things affect you. So they had a solar flare the last 3-4 days. They had a solar flare, which the sun erupts this gas and it shoots out this solar flare. And as a result, I woke up this morning and me and Carlene were just cleaning out. It was no different than a colon cleanser or something like that, no. So we are affected and bombarded by this particular energy. Even today, you might not know it, but on a certain level, you are being affected and going to another level on certain energy. Let me give you an example. How many people, let's say about 10 years ago, somewhere around 10, 12, 13 years ago, around 1990, you saw a resurgence of this particular Afrocentric knowledge, and you had different, and then not only did you have the Afrocentric knowledge, you had different factions, the Nation of Islam, the Moors, different researchers of information coming up, the rappers doing it in the music, and you thought in so many words that the whole country was going through this particular aspect. We even down south, they even had black people in church wearing African outfits, you know, and different things like that. And then all of a sudden, somewhere around 1997, 96 or 1997, some kind of shift changed, and you find yourself all alone in the particular consciousness and can't talk to your other people. Anybody been experiencing this? The people have been in a certain consciousness. It's almost like something happened, and there's a shift, and not unless the circle that you align yourself with, hell, it might be 3 or 4 months before you meet somebody that got something on their mind. That's like almost like there was a separation or something from the conscious people, you see what I'm saying, and regular black folks, until you feel alienated. You know, first of all, we need to ask this particular question: how many people always felt that they were special since you were a child? Raise your hands. Now, this is spiritual because I go across the United States and everybody, it's almost like clockwork. It's almost everybody thinks, you know, you always thought that there was something special about you, and that is because you was born to receive this particular information, and there was some type of shift, whereas they needed a certain amount of people to be custodians of this information, and sometimes custodians of the information is just learning the information. You see what I'm saying? Just learning the information. So these are things that's actually going on. So we are being bombarded and being initiated even as we speak. Even as we speak, we're being initiated. So to get the ball rolling, because I'm telling you, I'm sweating, I'm cleaning out. To get the ball rolling, what we're going to do is we're going to give the entities some of the juice, as far as give the entities some of the energy based on pouring libations. And we'll get into this whole synopsis and this consortium of ancient mysteries as we go on. But we want to give them a form of the libations and stuff. So this is a blend. This is just regular Old Crow Kentucky bourbon. But because it's a blend, it's right for the spirit aspect. Otherwise, you'd have to blend it, so we have different types of elixirs. So for the people that don't understand, the greatest royal art in Hemmitt, which is the most advanced mysteries, was alchemy. Because alchemy breaks down the particles, the fabric of the universe, and the fabric within us, which means in actuality, ultimately, alchemy is a study of melanin. You know, from the dark matter in space to the melanin inside of your body. Now, most people keep thinking of melanocytes based on darkness. We're talking about the melanin in the central nervous system. You see the melanin in central nervous system, in the central nervous system. So, which has nothing to do with your skin color, whether you light or dark. You see, some people saying, that person is real black, he got more melanin than me. No, that's just he has more active melanin in the melanocytes. But as far as the melanin we're talking about is the inner melanin in the central nervous system that is being produced from the lower gastrointestinal tract, which we'll get into as we go on, as we go on, which we'll get into. So, the alcohol, the art of fermentation and distillation, was an art that was brought from Hemmitt and taken on up in the Europe by the Moors, And that particular art form of distillation and fermentation came out of the priest of Tahuti, or the priesthood of On of Tahuti, or the Hermetic mysteries, the mysteries of alchemy. So the alcohol is the ultimate aspect of alchemy, which alchemy is also taking something in an original state and making something new out of it. And that's what fermentation is. And in so many words, that is what the whole Christ thing is. You know, I am the wine and I am the vine. That whole concept and all. Remember, the root of the word Christ just simply means your soul. Has nothing to do with no black person or white person running around 2,000 years ago. The word Christos, if you study this for most of it, we only got the religious aspect of the Christos, which is but might I add, Greek. I'm trying to find out why the Christians never found another name, even in Hebrew, that they wanted to deal with. When they talk about the Christos, they had to deal with the Greeks. But then again, they even call the Greeks pagans. But the Christos on the metaphysical, esoteric realm it's like crystallizing. It's called the tikkun. It's talking about a process of change, of mutation, or transmutation. And that is talking about your soul. So there is no person, there's no person, no 2,000 years ago, or no person, no 5,000 years ago, that's going to come back and save you, because the Christos being saved is your soul. That's the Christos. You see, the Heru is your soul. So the Heru ain't no hog-head God that you all are just worshiping, because you only taking the deities. So what you've done is, we've come in, the Afrocentric movement has taken, they still got the same Christian model. You just changed the damn deities. You still worshiping. You see. And the concept here is your own soul. That is the Christos aspect. So the Christos aspect, as far as taking something dormant, in this particular case like your soul, and illuminating it. That is the concept of the scarab. You have it as the scarab. It's dormant. It hangs around dung, shit, or shut, which is, do you know the word shit is an ancient name for God? You get the word soot, set, soot, shut, shit, excrement. You see, and it hangs around shit, and then it grows wings into Kephra, and that represents illumination. That represents illumination. Well, Jesus hung around the stable. Jesus was born in the stable. A stable is shit. You see what I'm saying? Shit is what? Fertilizer. Shit is for this excrement. It's the renewal cycle. You see what I'm saying? So he's born in the stable. This mythology of the whole Jesus thing. You know, he's born in the stable. That represents the shit in your body. The soul rests in the root chakra between the scrotums or the vagina and the anus. That is the realm where the scrotum, or the realm where the soul rests, in the root chakra. Down in the bowels of the lower gastrointestinal tract. They say go down into the ravenous dragon and recover the pearl that resides there. You ever heard that? That's even in the Bible, isn't it? Go down through the ravenous dragon and recover the pearl that resides there. Where's the ravenous dragon? The ravenous dragon is the gastrointestinal tract, your intestines, your guts. The ravenous dragon, there's a pearl down there, which means your soul is down in the root chakra. It resides in the shit, nauseous fumes. So the scarab represents the dung beetle. Once it rises up, it has the wings. Now there's a difference between the spirit and the soul. You must understand this, because this is why we get confused. The spirit is anima. Everything down here has a spirit. A rat has a spirit. A dog has a spirit. You see what I'm saying? Everything down here has a spirit. Not everything down here has a soul. A soul only represents that which comes from the original creation or the original fall. That means that a lot of humans down here, in this particular case, don't have the soul. You best believe the ones who got the soul got to be original people. Now in metaphysics, to prove this, the soul is what produced melanin. The inner melanin. If you take a match, because melanin is nothing but what? Carbon. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. Carbon. You can get that in the book Pyramids of Montauk. Pyramids of Montauk by Preston Nichols and Peter Moon. We'll be documenting sources as we go on. And 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, which is carbon, which is the ketone. So we are carbon beings. The other people are carbon-based beings. Understand this. So if you take a match and the soot, which is the carbon, and you light the fire, and you put it up against this whiteboard, what will happen? Soot will come on the whiteboard. You understand? Well, that's the same concept of melanin. Melanin is being produced inwardly from the soul. It's filtered on into the fountainhead, which is the pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, or whatever. So the soul is called the shadow. Anytime you see shadow, that's in Jungian psychology. They deal with it a lot in Jung psychology. Anytime you hear the word shadow, anytime you hear that word shadow, that represents the soul. That represents the soul. No, excuse me, that represents melanin. Not the soul. Anytime you hear the word shadow, you hear it in Jungian psychology, the dark night of the soul. That represents melanin. Man's dark half, it represents melanin. Satan represents melanin. We'll get into this type of information because, see, we children, we've been spooked out for years on some mythological character that we don't know. We've been spooked out for years on this because we don't understand the origin of where this stuff comes from because you are still religious. And religion has 98% nothing to do with spirituality. Notice the difference now. Religion is inspirational ceremony and moral code. It's moralism and behavioral modification, but it has nothing to do with spirituality. Most stuff that is spiritual, religion says is evil. So most religions have nothing to do with spirituality. So because you sing a little song and pray or do whatever little thing that you've been taught from catechism, Sunday school on up, that is religion. That is a moral, behavioral, political system, but has nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. Know this, because when you get into the real aspects of spirituality, moralism has nothing to do with it. Nothing whatsoever. You got to understand these things. We will answer these questions, but we have to become adults now. We got to go beyond worshiping. That's some bullshit. And praying. You got to demand. That's the problem. See, the spirit realm is like tricksters. They're a bunch of niggas. Exactly. It's a bunch of niggas. And they act like niggas. So if you pray to these particular realms, and you give them the authority to govern you. See, it's all principalities in the spirit realm. If you give them the authority that you are subordinate, that means I'm praying to this particular entity. Then that particular entity has the authority to either grant you what you want or take a long damn time doing it. So a lot of times, you know, you pray to some particular energy and you don't get what you want. It's because that particular energy that you prayed to, it's a nigga. It might feel as shit. I got 4,000 other motherfuckers praying to me. And your rent need to be paid tomorrow. Because you have granted the energy, because it's principalities. When you give up your right to govern your own spiritual path, then that means another entity has to do it for you because you don't have the knowledge of being the same gods. So as a result, you got to wait for them to do it. And sometimes they'll be like, I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Some of them got thousands of people pulling on them. The other ones say, well, hell, I just woke up after 4,000 years. I don't feel like doing it. Just like you wouldn't trust some Negroes out here to get your job done. The same thing with the spirit realm. Now, if you demand, it's a principality. We'll go into this. I'm getting ahead of myself. But if you say, God damn it, I want it done and I want it done now, then by the process of protocol, they got to do it. They have to do it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're getting into the deep realms of spirituality, and a lot of this might sound strange because we're not in worshiping. There's a difference, because some people have adopted the African spiritual system, or African spiritual religions, and although they are more authentic than the modern world religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they are still fragments of a system, and most of the people still worship. So you worship Oshun. You worship Legba. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand, the only thing you have done here is, but it's a trickster thing. If you give them the authority to say, look, I want you to guide me, then they might say, well, shit, I might get to this nigga Monday. 2 weeks from now. But if you understand that, as it says in the Book of the Dead, I've set up a ladder to the gods. That's the spinal column. I set up a ladder to the gods, but I am one of them. And I holler like a goose until they hear my prayer and report it to Sirius. First of all, you got to become one of them. So, tell them motherfuckers get up off their ass. Now, for all you people, because here it goes again. Mind control is central to the government and the modern world of the United States or whatever. The people that rule us. Mind control tells you that if you're given information, the subconscious mind takes the information, processes the information, and works upon the information that it is given. It's programmed to give, it's programmed and it's given something. So, if it is given wrong information, it still processes the same wrong information as it would do right information. Once it processes the wrong information in the subconscious mind, it starts to act upon wrong information. It starts to react upon wrong information. Once right information comes, it automatically rejects it. So right now when I'm cursing, because you've been spanked from a child to hear curse words. So when I say curse word, now you damn near 50, 60, 70, you jumping, flinching. That's because of a process that you've been given as a child. When there's only one curse word, damn. And that is the only one that you can even use in the pulpit. Damn, it's the one that people get least offended by. They use it on TV, and for it to be a curse word, you have to damn someone. You see what I'm saying? That is the only one that we use as a curse word. The other stuff is British slang and world slang that has nothing to do with God or with being righteous. You see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with, when those scriptures was written down, the English language wasn't even in existence. So how can this be relevant to something spiritual? That's because we've been in Sunday school class, again, learning behavior modification and moral code. So if I say these things, it's because I do it to break the subconscious mind from mind control. And you must get up out of that. So you don't curse, don't matter. Still cut your fucking lights off. You see, so we have to become adults, and we can't have the same mindset as somebody 4 or 5. Yes, you can train them a certain way, but we're talking about, you're a world-class people now. You understand what I'm saying? You're a world-class people. If I was up in there talking about warfare, the army coming down the street, you better get your motherfucking ass up now. You wouldn't dare think, oh, you just cursed at me. You'd be like, I better get the hell on up before I get killed. Well, this is warfare. You understand? So we need to get out of the childhood state. Not for you, but I'm just saying for the particular people that don't understand what's going down. There's no such thing as the profanity in the particular area. That's just somebody else's culture impressed upon you. And the Egyptians say, we will be in a land far away. In the Hermetic text coming out of the priesthood of Tahuti, we will be in a land far away. And although our bodies will look like Egyptians or Camites or Africans, our mind will be of another race. That's 5,000 years before it happened. You see, 5,000 years before it happened. So yeah, boy, that's going to be a good one. I'm sweating, so all right. So the fermentation here is, this is the quick pathway to the spirit. You see what I'm saying? Is the juice. You see, but you have to invoke the entities with it. We'll get into this particular aspect. What I want to deal with right now is I want to deal with, before we go into the general aspect of deities, which is the generic terminology. So the Horus, Heru, Osar, Aset, those are generic terminologies now, because the simple fact, the entities are thousands of years old, so in actuality, they come back. It's a transmutation. Some of these entities have gone dormant and transmutated. So before we deal with the generic aspect that we want to deal with, there's about 90-something new entities that has come down the pipe. Since 2001, there's about 90 new entities. So I want to do the invocation and do the libation to those particular entities. This is a book that is a must-have. Everyone should have a copy of this. This is the quintessential definitive text on gods and goddesses. This is the book that it's called Dictionary of Ancient Deities by Patricia Turner and Charles Russell Coulter. Patricia Turner and Charles Russell Coulter. Everyone should have a copy of this. Why? Because number one, this white boy that put this together died in '97, but he was honest enough to put Diop in it. He was honest enough to put Gerald Massey, which white people don't use. You see, their own scholar. So this book here has every deity. It's called Dictionary of Ancient Deities. Patricia Turner and Charles Russell Coulter. The reason why I'm recommending this particular book is because when you read a certain deity, at the bottom of the page they'll say compare with so-and-so. And that means compare outside of that particular culture. So what happens is you extend the deity. Whatever we are getting with these particular ancient gods and goddesses are fragments. Because we're talking about ancient knowledge and ancient history, and we're getting fragments. So, now, Carlene, I got to give you a straight up thumbs down on this one. I told you, I said, look, I got this lighter shirt. Should I wear this one, or should I wear the black wool shirt? Oh, no, it's winter. So now, as a result, I'm paying the price for it. Shit is hot as hell. But then again, on the other hand, that's spiritual, because that's the sweat lodge. Yeah, see, everything works out this way. Because see, the spirit realm here is, when I asked her that question, if they didn't want me to wear it, they would have told her, go ahead and wear the lighter one. It's always that way when I'm in the spirit realm. We're always directed by a certain path. So therefore, that's the sweat lodge, and I guess I do need to clean out. You know what I'm saying? So that's all good. So we're going to go through all this ritual as we go on. Now, I was just joking with you anyway. But they say, compare with such and such. Now, what that means, it extends the deity. Let me give you an example of how this thing goes. You learned of the goddess Mayat. Well, most of the people who told you about Mayat, they only told you about the moralistic aspect of Mayat based on... See, these particular entities, they are multidimensional, which means they're astronomical, astrological, political. They can explain the terminology of political. You know what I'm saying? And then they can go into the esoteric aspect. Mayat is more than just balance, harmony, reciprocity, you know, all the stuff the Afrocentric people taught us. Mayat is also tikkun, which means a change. Mayat is this liquor, because this was once something that turned into something else. You get it? Well, it's the same concept here. So let me show you how you extend the deities when you want to study something on a deity level. We know of not Mayat, but we get very little other than what we get in the Kamite thing. And all stuff is fragmented, including Egyptian. Because all this stuff came out of Kemet, and that means all stuff is fragmented. But then again, if it all came out of us, that means you can go to fucking China. You can go to Japan. It don't matter. It's still all black. You see what I'm saying? And it is the reason it ended up this way. You see what I'm saying? So you want to, let's say you want to extend the deity. Well, I know Mayat is balance, order, and all this type of stuff here, but I also know Mayat, you will see her with the scales. right? But if you go to the European aspect and look when they got the scales in front of their courthouse, who is that? That's the goddess Athena. And Athena comes from where? Libya. She's an African goddess. So here it is. We have extended the range of Maya, and although they might have not done the research, you can also deal with it also in the imagery as well as the prototypes, as well as the iconology. And so as a result, we have extended, well, fuck it, I did it, shit. Tell this. I have extended, you would like say we because it makes you sound like this is a great intellectual intelligentsia and stuff like that. It makes it sound a little more authentic when we say we, other than I. But I've extended it, so I have a lot more I can study on Mayat through the goddess Athena. Now let's make this point clear so you understand this. Greek philosophy was stolen from Hemmitt, stolen from Africa. Greek mythology is African. That was there in place with the language of the Etruscans, the Minoans, the Phoenicians, all of that made up Greece and Rome when you first get there. Homer, the book Homer's, Iliad and Odyssey, black book. Hello, the white man couldn't fucking talk. Didn't Count Varney say we had to teach him how to speak? So how you going to teach? If the white man had to learn how to speak and wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, then the white man is more advanced than what we're giving them credit for. Have you ever studied the Iliad and the Odyssey? And Hessed's Theogony, the Organata. These are profound texts done by African people. So the original archetypes or architects of that particular realm were the Etruscans, the Minoans, the Phoenicians. Even the word Trojan, when they say the Greeks sacked Troy and destroyed the Trojans were a black group of people. And they usurped their culture. So don't screw this up. Greek mythology you need to study because that's black. And that is the missing keys to ancient Kemet. As Plutarch tells you, our gods came from Kemet, the Greek gods. Because we're talking about a black family. So we throw the baby out with the bathwater. I was talking to Charles Finch a couple of years ago, and he said, yeah, the Afrocentric, we kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to Greek mythology. Greek mythology is black. You understand? Now, to understand the difference, it is separated from Greek philosophy damn near 2,000 years. 2,000 to 3,000 years. You get where I'm coming from? That's all black. So the goddess Athena is the form of Maya. So I have extended the range of study. You see, so what I do like about this book is they'll say compare with so-and-so. Now, whether it's in China, whether it's in India, whether it's in Mesopotamia or Sumer or whatever they call it, it's still all black. So the white man say, look, we got these niggas by the balls because they know how we think. They're going to be sitting up here arguing about culture. The white man be like, look, ain't none of this shit ours. So we'll study it all. And we'll get further along in the research than Negroes because they already know you're going to be sectarian. I'm only Egyptian now. That just means that you're just another fool in a fragmented faith. Hell, if it was rape for a damn 1,000 years, you know you're getting something inferior if you don't fuse it back together and reweave it in with the surviving text on the planet. We don't live in the modern world. So you don't live in a world where you can go to a complete system and get what you want. So some people, I'm only Yoruba, you know, and you got the thug Nigerian, a thug nigga, making people preach for $5,000. $5,000, if you're a damn white man from England, you can become a Yoruba priest. They got 3 million white practitioners in Yoruba, in America, all got down with that thug-ass Nigerian nigga. You see, the shoe fits, wear it. Everybody a damn Babalawo. All them fucking Indian chiefs and no Indians. You see, and they got 3 million white folks. I ain't talking Santeria. Now, Santeria is a whole nother Hispanic thing, Latin America, there's millions of that practitioners. You got 3 million white practitioners in Yoruba, in America. You know what I'm saying? You know damn well they don't give a damn whether it's black or not. They only want to deal with what works. You have millions of black people, white folks now that's done usurp voodoo. You go to the New Orleans Voodoo Museum down there, it's all run by white folks. You see? So my point here is, but none of this, if you don't, in this esoteric realm, if you say, I'm only going to deal with voodoo, I'm only going to deal with Yoruba, I'm only going to deal with Kemet, you might as well go on back, get your Bible and go on back. At least you get some good damn music up in that mug and a dance session and shit. You know what I'm saying? And can get to do all the stuff that you want to do as long as you ask the Lord to forgive you. That's actually kind of cool. You know, if I wasn't knowledgeable, I might go back to that, you know. You know what I'm saying? I want to sleep with this woman right here. As long as I ask the Lord to forgive me, I'm all right. She got an out system. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's pretty cool. Because we don't need to be messing with moralism right now. You see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'll give you one better. The gods that is existing in the heaven realm, they need you. They need you. They need you to survive. You see what I'm saying? They need you to survive. That's how this thing goes. We're going to get on in this now. To deal with this, because you have millions of people, now the Egyptian thing, well, white people been, since Budge, they've been trying to tap into that particular knowledge. You have millions of entities, millions of people worshiping and pulling on the magical portion of these particular entities. You see what I'm saying? Millions of people. So, the more people come in, the more people try to use this particular magic, the weaker the center of power becomes. So, we have, and I'll give some of these out, there's 92 new entities came back from the planet. Now, these new entities are the old entities transmutated, because we're dealing with the alchemical aspect. Now, I must have to preface this on the videos because I've been doing this for 12 years, but I don't want it to say, well, you know, this nigga here coming up with his own deities. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn new, this, oh, here it come again now. This nigga coming up with his new little system. So, fair enough, I am glad when the entities started coming back, they started coming back with close to 4 sisters around the United States. 2 in L.A., 1 in Atlanta, 1 in Kansas, 1 in Kansas. They started coming central throughout the United States, and they're all women. Remember the movie, what's the Minority Report? It was all about these psychics, but the woman was the most advanced. So it's interesting that when the Oracle came, that's why they put the black woman as the Oracle in the movie The Matrix. It's interesting, when the Oracle came back, it would come through women. Now, they came to me, which is cool, and I got access to them because of a hell-fault system, but I'm glad they came through the women, and that, which to me, that makes it more authentic than there's another cult leader standing up here saying, follow me. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the planet Ritz. Follow me. And now, nigga lock up in jail, and nigga got 16 years. Where the fucking damn spaceships or the shams now to bust your ass up out of there? We got a charlatan on every corner. And they said they'll pimp you through the Egyptian thing. So here it is, we got Dr. York now, locked up. Got 16 years and admitted to child molestation. Right on this film. We ain't talking no. We got the video. The Sirius Times thing. Everybody get your Sirius Time. You got some more left back there? Yeah. The Sirius Times thing. Get in contact with Sister Deborah. We got it down there. The court case where he pleading guilty. But then again, on the other hand, you got to understand this also too. Time is out for you following another nigga any damn well. You're world-class people. You can read, you can write, and you do every damn thing that white man tell you to do on Monday. You do it better than anybody on the planet. And here you are, world-class people still following niggas. So that's why them leaders are getting set down. And most of them are male leaders getting set down because the goddesses got to rise. The feminine aspect got to rise. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you don't think this thing about feminine, a lot of these entities that come on one realm, they appear as males. Damn near all of them up there is bitches. I say that for a reason. Bitch means priest of the dog star. You see, so that's a good name. Bitch, vitch, witch. Priestess of the dog star. You see, that's where the bitch in the summertime, that's Anubis. Priestess of the dog star. So all of them on that realm, the realm that is rising is the feminine realm. See what I'm saying? So all that patriarchal shit, you around here with the patriarchal shit, that's you gonna fall like maggots. That's right. I'm telling you straight up, brothers. You gotta get up all that shit, because that's that religious aspect. 2,000 years ago, a male chauvinist murder cult, I would say, organized homosexuality. And I'm telling you, the realm, I'm getting ready to get into all this in a few minutes. The realm that is rising is a feminine realm. That's what's going down. That's what's rising. It's a feminine realm. You see. So you got to understand the science on this thing. You got to understand the science because, and I'll go into this particular thing and all because we are actually dealing with these particular entities. So we got 4 of them, and I got one. One of them, one of the oracles. She's 29 years old. She flew down to my lecture in Atlanta from L.A. And a week later, she called me from the Mexican pyramids. I'm like, shit, you in the Mexican pyramids? You need to do a ritual. So she thought up a ritual and did the ritual. And when she got back to L.A., I said, now, tap in, because you the oracle. You're going to start channeling. And as soon as I said that, she started channeling on a whole nother level. Now, this is not Dionne Warwick's psychic friends. I ain't talking about that kind of shit. This is different. There's different levels of psychic ability. You got white folks and psychic friends that can read the mundane realm, the physical. Yeah, and they're good. They can tell you all the shit that's going on in your life on the mundane realm. Then you have these other realms and regions that no one can enter into these particular realms. They can't enter. The only people can enter is the people that are chosen by those realms that's got the same origin of those particular entities in that realm. In this particular case, carbon, melanin. And it's a whole nother situation. So we got one out in California. Let me give you that you can call. Let me get a thing. I want to put this on the tape because we got one in California. Hold on 1 minute. I'm getting back up so you don't have to adjust it yet. Let's see here. This one is we got 4 of them, but you know, all the rest of them are kind of, one is, you know, they're more established in their careers or whatever. They don't have a lot of time. But we got the young one, the one that's, this 29, and might I add, is unbelievable on her stuff. We talking to dead people. What happened to you, man? You know what I'm saying? I call up Marvin Gaye. What happened? He said, well, the first thing is my father didn't kill me. There was somebody else in the room. When he said that, I said, you know, I know what you're talking about because that's what happened with Betty Shabazz. On her deathbed, she said, no, it ain't my grandson. There was somebody else in the room that burned up the room and all that.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Well, let me put this on the tape then. Let me give you this. The name of the sister is the Sister Simone. Goddess Simone, or Sister Simone, and her number is 310-770-2729. 310-770-2729. These are oracles that you really need some real serious information, you know what I'm saying, some things and all. Maybe somebody that died, you want to know what the fuck happened to them, anything like that. You need to tap into this sister here. So get this sister and get a general reading. You know, readings now go for about $50. You know what I'm saying? go for about 50 bucks. So this is one of the ones that's out of the 4, this is one of the ones that's open to the public to do the actual readings. You see what I'm saying? The actual readings. I'm gonna get that out again, so you know, because this is how you do. We're dealing on another level now, so this might be of help to you. That's 310-770-2729. 2729, and that's a Sister Simone, named after Nina Simone, and it's from she's actually from Newark, New Jersey and stuff, you know, but she's out in L.A. and a real beautiful sister, might I add, also too, in the fine department. You know how that shit go. Bad case of fine, you know, yeah. So we straight 4 minutes and stuff. So and please, when you get to reading, unask the cash. You know, when you get a general reading, don't get to reading and decide you don't like what the spirits say, and then don't want to send the sister the money or however she tell you she want to do it. Because remember, she's just the conduit. She is the vessel. You're talking to a certain amount of entities. You see what I'm saying? So mess around with some of them. Because when we talk about it, some of the most powerful, I'll get back in there in a few minutes and stuff like that and all. You know, and then fuck around and grow a tail and some stuff, and we be laughing at you. Laughing at you and stuff, you know. Because these are very advanced entities. The ones that, some of the most powerful. We'll get into that in a few minutes also, too. So this is one of the ones that's coming forward to actually do it. Because there's different realms, and these are some, I have dealt with some great ones over the years, and all of them are females mostly. But the last 4, just off the chain. You see, but one of them is stepping out to do the actual readings and stuff like that and stuff, you know, because she got time to do it, you know, and stuff like that, you know. You know, that youth is always that soldier type energy. You know, that soldier energy. I used to go to the AU Center and would do one with, especially the freshman class, the energy would be off the chain. You know, because they got that particular energy, and that's what they have to start working on to shut them down during the 4 years of college. You see what I'm saying? And turn them into glorify God and all this kind of stuff. You got a fraternity they had to adopt called Glorify God down in the AU Center because the black people was tapping into a particular consciousness. Now you got people now, if you ain't a Christian, you can't even touch them. I can't even touch them. This insanity. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna, well, we're gonna go to break. She's got to take that off and change the film, and we're gonna keep on rolling. Then we're gonna come back and give the entities their juice and their energy. All right? You straight? Okay, we're gonna do that. All right, this is where we have to. Now we get to start the lecture. You know. That was the introduction. Now, so I want to pour libations, and this consists of these are the new entities, and then I want to I'll start off with the most powerful things left, and they are powerful. Is your Palo? Palo, we're just now getting, although there was practitioners in the northern areas, Puerto Rican and some blacks, none of the information was written down as far as book form and stuff, which was probably the way it was supposed to be because we didn't need a whole group of people getting into it to saturate it. So you got so many people pulling on these entities, these things are not working anymore. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, you got 3 million white folks that's in Europe alone, and that's not talking Santeria. And there's millions in Santeria, and that's not talking about the Africans and the fastest rising thing with black folks. It's the Palo retained and contained its power and all because most people were scared of it and all, and the government would not let it in the country. So we only got the first remnants of written material in '94, and recently, when they open up Cuba now, then there's a book called A Book on Palo that is now in print that you can get by Baba Raul Canizares. Baba Raul Canizares. Don't ask me how to spell it. Baba Raul Canizares. And it's you can now also if you want to check back by this place right here. What's the name of your place again? The Wisdom Book Center. What is it? Wisdom Book Center or Wisdom Cultural Center? What is it?
Wisdom Book Center.
Okay. Wisdom Book Center and Natural Hair Salon. Stock back by, and he will be able to get and access these books for you. That's customary that we get the brother, the business that opened up the place to us. So drop back by, and he will be able to get this book, Charles Russell Coulter's book, which is a must-have. The Dictionary of Ancient Deities by Charles Russell Coulter. The other book is called it's called The Book on Palo. Okay, like I said, we're not turning nobody away, so we got enough niggas up in here to sacrifice, enough hardheads. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So if it's a sister, you can come on through. Even the brothers, you can stand. We got enough to, got enough hardheads and all. Like I said, they ain't got no lace around their drawers. They on standby when it come to the seats. You know what I'm saying? Except the elders and stuff like that and all, and we'll give them some respect or whatever the deal is. But anyway, there's a book, Baba Raul Canizares. Baba Raul Canizares is his name, and there's a book called The Book on Palo. So we're going to Paul first start off with the Palo entities. Zarabanda is the chief one. That's a form of Anubis. He's a guardian of the gateway, the guardian of the gateway. And this is the type of stuff you need. There is no good and evil. Light and dark is like bleach and water. There is no good and evil now. That's all religion. We're talking about polarities. We're talking about polarities. So you got to get up out of that, because when the government come for you, you better come with some shit other than Jesus. Because when you come with Jesus on the government, they're going to be like, oh, this fool is dealing with some shit we put together. We're going to shoot him in his head just like we did Martin Luther King. You see what I'm saying? So when you come, you better come with some stuff that's got some juice. So we're talking about warfare here. You know what I'm saying? We got 1 million people thinking God gonna take care of me. Do you know that God don't even know you exist? Something is just logic. If I'm standing at an anthill, and the anthill say, oh, I know the other ant about to bite off my foot, but Bobby's standing over me, he gonna take care of me. To me, it's 1,000 black ants. Now, how in the hell will I know that the other ant getting ready to get his damn foot bit off? Well, it's the same concept with the God concept. That's the microcosmic universe, and it is only accessed through you going on inside. So if you think for one damn minute God is looking over you, and when you get in some trouble and shit, oh, God gonna take care of me, you know what I'm saying? You'll be dead like 1,000 niggas dying every 5 minutes from that same bullshit. That's the real knowledge. You see, so we need to get this shit straight. God ain't looking after you. Because if God was looking after you, the white man will make sure that you wouldn't have a damn church on every fucking block. Just like he did in South Carolina. We went down to the Sea Islands. They got this church in the Sea Islands, and it's unbelievable. And we were like, oh my God, what is that? It looked like some mysterious building. And they tell the story how when the slaves got out of slavery, they used to worship, and they had different Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Dogon, and all this different thing. They had retained their particular information or their particular worship system, and they would go in like a homeroom. They'd have an opening ceremony, and then they would go to different traditions. And then they would come back in after the traditions, have a ceremony, and have a benediction. The white man came down there and saw that and built them a damn church right beside it. And that's where the church, and that church has been closed down ever since. So don't let nobody fool you now. You come up with the modern world religions. He said, man, any fool stuck in modern day religions as far as the world organized religions is a sitting duck. You better come with some power. Just like one sister out in California, they had this sister, had her ass in the jailhouse, chained up under the damn sink. You know, don't give a doggone by black folks. Had her chained up under the sink. And they was coming back to lock her down again. There was some stuff on some taxes. She told them, she said, by my Lord and personal Savior, Lucifer, I can't pay these taxes. Never heard from him again. He said, we don't know what this nigga know. Black woman in 2000, talking about my personal Savior, Lucifer. That ain't no shit we gave him. So you believe in Allah all you want to. Them Arabs over there getting alhamdulillah kicked straight in the ass by the white man. Alhamdulillah, bam! Cutting off arms, legs. See what I'm saying? You better come with some doggone power. This is a new day. You see what I'm saying? This is some new juice. Don't get into the habit of coming to lectures and people giving you information that you already know. If it's something that you can agree to, that's not knowledge no more. That's data. You already got that. It's supposed to be strange. It's supposed to be monumental and ridiculous. Always look for the ridiculous. Always look for the strange. Always look for the irrational, illogical.